All right, today we're going to jump right into a really key moment from the Chronicle of Apeldoorn. It's an incredible story about a past that just refuses to stay buried, and it all kicks off on a dark night, right outside a cave. So picture this. Our heroes have just fought their way out of the depths. They're exhausted, but they've made it. But there's no time to catch their breath. They get to the surface, and they're met with this really ominous sight. 5 points of light just burning out there in the pitch black. A clear sign they are not alone. And then, just as quickly as they appeared, the torches are gone. And just like that, the fields are plunged back into total darkness. Now, instead of just rushing headlong into what is obviously a trap, the group makes a really smart call. They wait. They find cover, and they just listen. Can you imagine the tension of that half hour? Every little sound, every leaf rustling, just amplified by this heavy, suffocating silence. Then, the silence is broken, but it's not with a crash or yell. It's the steady, almost casual footsteps of one person, a figure in dark robes, walking all alone towards the cave, almost like they don't have a care in the world. And before anyone else can even react, before a sword can be drawn, one of the heroes, Roberto, he steps right out to meet the stranger. He just moves out of the shadows to face this person head-on. A tense, one-on-one showdown under a sky with no moon. But here's the thing, this is not just some random challenge. The whole confrontation starts not with a threat, but with this jaw-dropping moment of recognition, one that just tears open some very old wounds. The figure speaks, and his words just slice right through the night. He knows Roberto's name, but he also knows a title, one from a life Roberto thought he had left far, far behind. The Fallen Flower. Now, this is not a coincidence. That's a name only his former brothers would ever know. And then, bam, more voices just erupt out of the darkness, and they are filled with pure shock. This name, this title, it means something serious to them. You realize the trap wasn't just this one guy. It was a whole audience, a hidden chorus just waiting for their cue. That shock turns to pure venom real quick. Accusations start flying out of the dark, and each one is like a dagger. In their eyes, he's no hero. He is a traitor. And there it is, the final damning label. It becomes crystal clear. This isn't just an ambush. It's a reckoning. It's a judgment being handed down in the dead of night. With those words still hanging in the air, you hear the flash of steel. The trap is sprung. Assassins from the Dark Lotus just pour out of the shadows, their poisoned daggers aimed straight at Roberto. One of them actually gets through. The blade finds its mark, but then, miraculously, the poison has no effect. That single moment, that failed attack, was all the opening Roberto's allies needed. The quiet night just explodes into this whirlwind of violence as the heroes launch their counterattack. And this wasn't just a chaotic brawl. It was precise. Thane immediately hits the leader with a massive thunderwave. Cedric transforms into a giant bear and just starts tearing through their ranks, his thick hide deflecting their venomous blades. All the while, Telenor's arrows are flying from the shadows, finding their targets, and Calypso is using her magic to just dismantle the assassin's defenses. It was swift, it was brutal, and it was perfectly coordinated. The leader, seeing his forces getting absolutely decimated, tries to bolt into the darkness. He doesn't get very far. Cedric, still in bear form, cuts him off and literally hurls him back into the torchlight, where he lands in a heap right at the feet of the very man he came to kill. Roberto just looks down at this defeated enemy. And in this quiet, chilling voice, he delivers what isn't a boast but a message. See, this isn't just about surviving the night. It's about sending a very clear signal back to the entire Dark Lotus Order. And then, his blade falls. So the fight is over. The immediate danger is gone. But in the quiet that follows, as everything settles, the truth of Roberta's past finally comes to the surface for everyone to see. And this is the question, right? All of this, the violence, the raw hatred, these accusations, where did all that come from? Why would this order of assassins hunt down one of their own with such a personal, burning fury? Well, you see, Roberto wasn't just some low-level member. He'd been recruited as a kid. He was being groomed for leadership. He was on track to become an admiral. He was their star pupil. But then, at sea, he met Calypso. He fell in love. And for that love, he did the one and only thing the Order considered absolutely unforgivable. He walked away. To the Dark Lotus, love isn't a strength. It is a fatal weakness.
So to them, Roberto didn't just leave, he betrayed their entire philosophy, everything they stand for. He was supposed to be their future, and he threw it all away for love. He is the only person to ever leave their ranks and live to tell the tale, and for that, they have never, ever forgiven him.
So, with the battle over and this heavy truth now out in the open, the group has left to deal with the fallout. Not just the physical wounds from the fight, but the emotional weight of everything they've just learned about Roberto's past. And that victory, as swift as it was, it definitely came with a cost. Thane and Okazaki are both suffering from the poison on the assassin's blades. Cedric, who is protected by his thick bear hide, is okay, and he starts tending to the others. The night is far from over, but for now, all they can do is rest and try to recover. And that's where the Chronicle leaves us, with this final, powerful idea that really captures the heart of this entire night. Roberto tried to bury his life as a fallen flower, but as everyone learned tonight, some histories have a way of clawing themselves back to the surface, no matter how deep you think you've buried them.